So the first thing we're going to look at is how my fenders here that go over my wheel wells are attached to the frame, and that's got a piece of flat stock. What is that, like 1.5 inches, 2.5 by 1/8 inch thick, and it's probably like 6-8 inches long. Now I've got it welded on both sides here and on the back side back there. The problem we have, if we look over on this one, I got it unbolted, and we can take this thing and it moves a good bit. Now it's not like it's gonna fall off because it's welded on, but it does flop a little bit. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking a piece of angle iron like this, drilling my 2 holes out right there into my angle iron, and welding my angle iron on, you know, right where it's at, like that, and bolt my fenders to it, because there is no play in this angle iron. This is 1/8 inch, I believe, thick angle iron. I have to get me a couple pieces because this is the only piece I got. With that flopping like that going down the road, that's not the greatest. The second thing we're looking at is my trailer brake lights, which is going to go right here. Now you can see I welded it here. I cut these off originally because my decking's coming out to this weld right here, is where my decking's going to be at, and I cut these off because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with brakes. And what I planned on doing with brakes originally was these round LEDs. I was going to cut a hole and just install these inside the back of the trailer here on each side. The problem is these things are too big around to fit inside the square tube. We ended up cutting this piece out like this and cutting the bottom off, so we got a backing and a top. And I went and got the square headlights, and basically like that, if you can see that. So it's going to have a little like roof over it. It comes out to the end, and that way it won't get busted, or won't be as easily busted as just being connected to the back of the thing like that. So here's another view of my brakes. I got them sit on there. I got them bolted in. So it has that lip over it. You can see the side light comes out flush with the back of it, and it has that little lip over top of it here to protect it from like water and stuff, but also, you know, it kind of protects the light from getting broke altogether. And if we stand back, you can see it pretty good, and that's going to be on both sides like that. So next we're going to talk about the trailer brakes. Well, both these axles have brakes on them. They're brake axles. You can see here they're wire nutted together, and then the wire comes out across the axle and it connects right here. Again, wire nuts, and you got axles over there, or the brakes over there. The wire comes off there, the wire comes off there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull these wire nuts off, clean up the connections, and then put the proper heat shrink connection on it. Once it's heat shrinked where there can be no moisture get into it, we'll take electrical tape and tape it just to be sure, and get rid of these wire nuts altogether. We got our wiring just sitting in the trailer right now. It runs up through the tongue there, and then runs the whole length back to center, back to where we're at the brake lights. I got the 5 wires. I'm gonna have to add, no, I'm not gonna have to add. I'm putting a 7-pin connector on. This is a 4-pin connector. I've got about 7-pin on, but I only need 5 wires for that. So you're gonna have the white's the ground. I think the yellow is the turn signal for the right, the green is the turn signal for the left, and the brown is the running lights. And then the red wire we'll use as the brake, hook up to the brake axle plates. Then we'll put some wire loom on this thing, and we should be done wiring. We gotta hook up wires, hook up our lights, hook up the brakes, put decking on this thing, which I got most of the decking sitting right there. Put some decking on this thing, and this thing is done. We gotta paint the fenders. We're getting ready to paint the fenders here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. And once they're painted, I'll then replace those brackets. Replace these brackets with them angle iron brackets. Other than that, we should be about good to go on here. So on my trailer fenders, I got them painted today. I still got to put a second coat of paint on them. But I cut off them flat pieces and I went ahead and welded on the angle iron. And now, well, they're bolted in, but they don't budge at all. So I welded that one in, welded that one in, and then on the other side, over here, again, angle iron's welded, no budge at all. Come back to the back one, another piece of angle, again, solid as a freaking rock. I'm going to finish up, like I said, in the morning. We're going to paint the fenders, put a second coat of paint on them. Going to go around to the pieces of angle that I welded on, get them painted, and then we got to do wiring. Come back here, you can see I got one light just sitting on there, and what I need to do is there's an overhang right here. We're going to cut that back by about 2 inches and expose a little bit more of that light. Same thing over here. It's cut out, the light ain't in there yet. I bought one of these things, but it's plastic, so I'm going to go get a piece of 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch or something decently thin and make my own out of metal. And then, like I said before, we talked about the wire. We got the wire ran the whole way back to the back. We're going to put a 7-pin plug on it, but we only need 5 wires. They got the auxiliary that don't get used and the reverse lights that don't get used. Then we're ready for decking boards. I got half the decking boards. I got the decking boards for the back. Then we gotta go pick up decking boards for the front. So hopefully this trailer should be done, and we're gonna go down to the DMV and get title and tags for it. We put a new jack on. I didn't go over that too much. We did put a new jack on, a new one of these, this thing here. So I just reused it. I just cleaned it up, painted it orange for the heck of it, put a new pin in, and it works, but it's not the new one that I wanted. So anyways guys, that is it. Update on the trailer. Hopefully the trailer will be done here and we'll be moving on to a different project. And there's links in the description box below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.